Welcome back to Care for the Common Game. Today, in deck number 622, we're going to talk about Hamza, Guardian of Arashin. Now, this is the first deck I've done from Commander Legends. For 6 mana, we get a 5/5 Elephant Warrior. We'll talk more about that later. But these spells cost 1 less to cast for each creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it. Not bad. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less for each creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it. So it doesn't really matter how many counters you have on each creature, just that a 1/1 counter is on a bunch of creatures. So, now, that being said, this is a, what do they call it? Etched foil. And it is a beautiful thing. It's hard to really, here, since this is the first one, I'm going to try to take it out of all these dang sleeves and really show the beauty of this foil etch. It is an absolutely beautiful card. Yeah. Now, little backstory here. I started building an elephant tribal deck a year ago. And waiting, because I was certain that we would get an elephant commander at some point in time. Well, we kind of did, and we kind of didn't. Because Hamza here doesn't really care at all about elephants. However, it really cares about the +1/+1 counters. So the but the elephant part of the deck is not enough to take up the whole deck. So that left room for some +1/+1 counter. I figured I would be getting something later, and we did. So first, let's go through our elephants, shall we? Because, let's face it, we got to have creatures to put these counters on, right? So, prized elephant. Of course, you can pay to give it trample with a green. Wild elephant just has trample. Now, some of these are not exactly amazing. However, the cost reduction from our commander is going to kind of, it'll help out tremendously with stuff like wild elephant, bull elephant, rampant elephant. You can make... Now, this one is deceptively powerful. Granted, it's not as good as a lure effect, but you can make everything somebody has block this, and the rest of your stuff get through. So, noble elephant. Bringing back banding. Yeah, I don't think they'll ever bring back banding. War elephant. Bands, that's right. Bastion Mastodon. Rabbit elephant. Excavation elephant. Loxodon Life Chanter. Might work. Rogue Elephant. Now, the Rogue Elephant may not be good in this particular deck, but it holds a special place in my heart, because back in the day, this was about the greatest thing you could do on turn 1. Now, granted, you still ran the risk of a turn 1 Lightning Bolt or Sword to Plowshare, but it was really good. Woolly Mammoth. I do have a few snow-covered forest in the deck, so that makes this all tramply. Come on, show us the trample. There we go. Then we lead into, Venerated Loxodon does a decent +1/+1 counter. Now, ideally, you're supposed to use little guys to convoke for this. The Fairgrounds Trumpeter also deals with 1/1 counters. Sandstep Mastodon. That's a bunch of counters. And then Frontier Mastodon, 1/1 counter elephant. So, that's our elephants. And then I have what I'm going to call as elephant adjacent cards, if you will. Stuff like Call the Herd. It puts an elephant token into play. This thing is an incredibly cheap card. Believe it or not, there was a day in time where this was as good as it got. And I remember this seeing $20, $25. back when it was first printed. We have Elephant Grass because it's a good card. It's got elephant in the name, of course. Elephant Guide. Elephant Resurgence. And then Elephant Ambush. So now that the elephants are out of the way, we'll get to the rest of the deck. Let's look at our ramp, shall we? Now this is a ton of ramp. Because, you know, our creatures aren't exactly cheap, right? So we've got the Soul Ring, Selesnya Signet. I love that they reprinted the diamonds at common. That's such a beautiful thing. Moss Diamond and Marble Diamond. Talisman of Unity. Doing pretty good on those 2 drops. But Selesnya Locket, Selesnya Key Rune, Wildfield Border Post. Now, I love the Border Post. We only have the allied ones. There's no enemy colored Border Post. I typically only use them in 2-color decks where I'm running a lot of basics, you know, as it were. We have Fertilid because that fits right in with the 1/1 counter theme. Harrow, Farseek, and a Ranger's Path. Now, the card draw is not that much, to be honest with you. We got a Harmonize and a Camaraderie. We may have some stuff that accidentally draws us a card here and there. But let's get to the +1/+1 counter theme, shall we? +1/+1 counter creatures. We have a Scavenging Ooze. Love that showcase treatment. It is beautiful. Conclave Mentor. Conclave Mentor I apparently really wanted in the deck because when I went to list it on Architect, I had 2 of them in there, so I had to swap it out with something. The second copy, anyway. But 1 or more 1/1 counters be put on any creature you control, that many +1 put on instead. Now, there are a ton of cards that would go great in this deck. Anointed Procession, all of, you know, Doubling Seas, all the double counter stuff that's amazing. That also is, what's the term? Currently out of stock. here at the CCG. Tempered Veteran. I have not put this card in a deck yet. It costs a lot to put the first counter on, but after that, it don't cost as much. You know, Elite Scale Guard. Tap a creature and opponent. That's not bad for just, you know, an attack trigger. Tuskguard Captain. They all have trample. Now, granted, most of our elephants have trample anyway. The Falconer. Flying Elephants. We got an army of Dumbos. That's right. Bloodspore Thrynax. Yeah, I'll devour some things. I mean, really, you only need to devour 1, but... and then our last 1/1 counter creature, Sentinel Druid. Now, this, on the surface, looks like it has nothing to do with the entire deck other than a 1/1 counter. However, it's an amazing card. This is just me taking advantage of the fact that everybody plays Mana Rocks. It's an early drop. We don't have a lot of early drops in the deck. And, I mean, the idea is we want at least 1 +1 counter on it. But I've got a feeling that in most games this is going to get huge. Because it's an opponent cast. So, now let's look at our 1/1 counter spells. We've got Invigorating Surge. Now, this is also going to, with as much 1/1 counter stuff as we have, we cannot ignore the possibility of a commander damage win, you know. I mean, our commander's starting off at a 5/5, so that's not hard. Inspiring Call. Yeah, I guess this is some card draw too, but I mainly think of this as a protection card, an anti-wrath card, you know. Reap What Is Sown. Put a counter on up to 3 creatures. Scale the Heights. Now this just seems like an incredible rate. Is it just me? You get a 1/1 counter, gain 2 life, play additional land, and draw a card for 3 mana. I don't... So Explore is 1 mana less than this, and you get the card draw and the land drop. So for 1 mana, you're getting a counter and 2 life. That just seems like a deal. If you think Explore is a good card, which I do. Hunt the Weak also doubles as removal, Put a 1/1 counter on something and then it fights. Our base creatures are not small to start with, so, it might work. Silver Flame Ritual. 1/1 counter on your team. Inspiring Roar. A 1/1 counter on your team. You see a theme? Strength of the Pack. We get 2 counters on the team. Feet of Resistance. This is another protection spell, Strength of the Tajaru. Yeah, X11. Now, a lot of this is the reason why we have a lot of mana rocks. Together Forever. Support 2. Choose target creature with a counter on it. When that creature dies this turn, return that card to its owner's hand. This is also a decent political card. If your opponents happen to have something that you can maybe curry favor with to give them that creature back. I don't know. Vastwood Fortification. Here again, I love these flip cards, or dual face, whatever the 30 letters that apply to them are. But it's a land, and it gives a 1/1 counter, so not bad. Basri Solidarity. This is, as far as rate goes, this is probably the best rate of put a counter on your team. Yeah, it really is. A little bit of removal, and I do mean a little bit because you saw a little bit sprinkled in there. We have a Naturalize, a Disenchant, a Return to Nature. I know I run those a lot, but it's been a while since I've said it. How many times are we going to lose to enchantments and artifacts with no answers in our hand before we start to do something about it? So, this is me doing something about it. Take Vengeance, not optimal. Yes, Sword to Plowshare, Path to Exile. These are all optimal versions of this card, or of white removal. But, for 2 mana, it's not bad. And then Selesnya Charm, I always count as removal because it says exile target creature with power 5. Yeah, the other uses in this particular deck, okay, maybe. We might need that Knight as an emergency blocker. This is an instant. 2/2 and trample. It's in there for a 2 mana exile creature. So now we get our non-basic lands. We have Selesnya Sanctuary, Thriving Heath, Thriving Grove, Blossoming Sands, Vec Townships. Yes, I jumped down into the Tempest Binder and notice I still had these slow duels. They do come into play untapped. You can get a colorless out of them for the free. But if you need color, it's every other turn deal. So, I've been kind of sprinkling those in. Evolving Wilds and Terramorphic Expanse. Glad to get another printing in Commander Legends. Rogue's Passage, like I said, for that random commander damage win that may or may not happen. Nantuko Monastery. Rupture Spire, Gateway Plaza, and the Temple of Plenty. And that is it for Hamza. It is Elephant Tribal. Have trunk, will travel. +1. I love those. I don't know what to call those cards. The theme cards at the end of Jumpstart. But that is what we have got for today. So we're going to go put 622 on the wall and be done with it. That's our first Commander Legends one. Now, I do have one more deck completed from Zendikar Rising before I go full blown into. I'm not exactly sure when I'll get it listed, so don't freak out if I'm going through Commander Legends and then randomly Oboon pops up. So Oboon is ready to go, but I've got two decks I have finished so far from Commander Legends. Obviously, the one you just saw and Captain Vargas Wrath, because Pyrus is pretty easy to build. Anyway, that's what I have got for today. I do appreciate y'all watching. Y'all let me know what you think. And right now, it's time to shuffle and cut.